Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a frog. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin, a lid, or anything else with a circular edge. On the top right side, draw another circle as a guide for the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. First make 4 small marks to indicate the sides of the circle, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. This circle should be about half the size of the first circle. On the right side of the head, draw a curved line as a guide for the muzzle. Don't curve the line too far to the right or the muzzle will be too long. Connect the circles using 2 sloping lines to finish the guide for the body. Space the lines out so that the shape is wider at the bottom. Inside the body circle, draw a long angled line as a guide for the first front leg. Bend this line to indicate the joint on the leg. This guide should be similar to a less than sign. At the bottom, draw a long horizontal line as a guide for the foot. To the right, draw a sloping line as a guide for the other front leg. At the bottom, draw a shorter horizontal line that bends slightly as a guide for the other foot. On the lower left side of the body, draw a big curved line as a guide for the hind leg. The right side of this line should be inside the body. The shape of this line should be similar to a big letter U. Starting inside the U-shaped line, draw another big curved line as a guide for the back portion of the hind leg. This line should be similar to an upside down letter U. At the bottom, draw a long sloping horizontal line as a guide for the hind foot. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. If you'd like, you can use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. Place the eye close to the top left edge of the head circle. When you get the size and position of the eye right, darken the shape. Make the sides of the eye slightly longer and pointier as you darken the circle. Draw a couple of curved lines around the eye for the eyelids. Keep these lines close to the shape of the eye. Pay attention to the size of the eye in relation to the head. Inside the eye, draw 2 tiny circles for highlights. Place these circles close to the outer edges of the eye. In the middle of the eye, draw a small circle for the pupil. Don't overlap the tiny highlight circles as you draw the pupil. Use the arc on the right side of the head as a guide to draw the muzzle. Darken the right side of the guide for the front part of the muzzle. Close to the bottom edge of the guide, angle the line to the left to create the mouth. Extend the line far to the left so that it's under the eye. Sketch lightly at first and only darken the line when you get the shape of the mouth right. Inside the top part of the muzzle, draw a small oval-like shape for the nostril. Now darken the lower edges of the guides to create the bottom part of the head. Make the shape of the head wavier as you darken the lines. Extend the lines to the bottom to create part of the neck. Under the mouth, draw a sloping line to emphasize the jaw. To the left of the mouth, below the eye, draw a short curved line for the ear. Above the eye, draw a curved line for the brow. Draw this line along the top edge of the head circle. To the right, draw another curved line for the brow that's on the other side of the head. Draw this brow slightly smaller. The right side of this line should connect to the top of the muzzle. Below the mouth, draw a couple of curved lines for the skin on the neck. Now use the angled line that's inside the body as a guide to draw the first front leg. On the left side, draw a curved line for the outer edge of the leg. Curve the middle section to indicate the joint. Draw more curved lines on the right side for the inner edge of the leg. Draw shorter curved lines at the top for the base of the leg. Add small strokes in the middle for the creases on the joint. Keep the edges of the shape close to the guideline so that the leg is thin. Now use the horizontal line at the bottom as a guide to draw the foot and toes. Draw a long thin shape on the left side for the toe that points backward. Curve the shape so that the tip of the toe is round. On the right side, draw a longer thin shape for the first front toe. Above that, draw an even longer thin shape for another toe. Curve the shapes so that the tips of the toes are round. At the very top, draw a shorter line for the visible part of the last toe. When you get all these shapes right, darken the lines. Curve the lines to emphasize the muscle structure. The bottom part of the foot should be more curved than the initial guideline. The shapes of the toes at the front should block one another. Now use the lines that are on the right side of the body as guides to draw the other leg and foot the same way. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg and foot around the guidelines. Draw the edges of the leg close to the guideline to keep the shape thin. Draw the shapes of the toes along the guide at the bottom. Near the middle of the foot, draw a slightly shorter and wider shape for another toe. This toe should be slightly wider because it's pointing forward. When you get these shapes right, darken the lines. Make the shapes of the toes long and thin and the tips round. Curve the lines for the legs to emphasize the muscle structure. On the top right side of the foot, draw another thin shape for the last toe. Now use the curved lines on the left side as guides to draw the hind leg. Darken the first U-shaped line to create the top part of the leg. At the bottom, draw a couple of short curved lines to give the leg more structure. Now darken the line on the left to create the rest of the folded leg. Add a couple of short curved lines for creases on the leg. Make the shape slightly more angular as you darken the line. Use the sloping horizontal line at the bottom as a guide to draw the foot and toes. Follow the path of the guide and on the right side, draw a long thin shape for the first toe. Curve the tip of the shape so that the toe is round. This toe should be longer than the toes for the front legs. On the left side, draw a shorter thin shape that overlaps the foot for another toe. On top of the first toe, draw another thin shape for another toe. Now use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. Curve the top edge of the body slightly more than the guidelines. On the left side, connect the top part of the body to the leg. Darken the underside of the body too, but don't overlap the front leg. On the top left side of the body, draw a short curved line for the visible part of the other hind leg. Now go over the final lines with permanent ink. The next few steps are sped up so that the video won't be too long. Don't ink the initial guidelines, only the final drawing. Take your time and be careful when you ink your drawing to avoid any accidents. When the ink dries, erase all of the guidelines. Now draw a series of spots and shapes all over the body for the pattern on the skin. If you'd like, you can use a different pattern if you're drawing a different type of poison dart frog. Now carefully fill in the pattern on the skin. Fill in the pupil too. Now color your drawing. This is a red striped poison dart frog, so the top part will be red and the bottom will be blue. Color lightly at first and gradually build up to darker tones. Use different shades of red as you color the top part of the body. Use colors like yellow-orange, orange, red, red-orange, and brown. Gradually blend in all the shades of red together. Leave a few thin sections blank to create highlights. Use different shades of brown to color the eye. Add a lighter color at the top to make the shape rounder. Now color the blue bottom half of the body the same way. Slowly and gradually blend in shades of blue like dark blue, regular blue, sky blue, and even purple. Leave a few thin sections blank to create highlights. Add darker values at the bottom like dark blue and purple to create shadows. Coloring this way can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. For a simpler drawing, you can just use orange and blue instead of blending different shades of colors together. It's a good idea to use reference as you color for a more accurate depiction of a poison dart frog. Add some black to the spots and stripes to emphasize the pattern. Draw a shadow at the bottom using gray. This grounds the frog so that it doesn't appear to be floating. Keep coloring until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the frog. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.